Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Purpose Maker. I'm Dr. Wegmann. I got my host, or excuse me, I am the host. I got my guest here, Chad Broughman. It's going to be a great conversation.
I think so too.
Chad's a longtime educator, father, husband, Christian, and most recently to that list is an author. So he wrote this book, The Fall of Bellwether. We're going to hear a lot about that. I'm going to hear about some of his philosophy behind it. But here's what's real interesting. It's your debut novel, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And you won an award.
I did. Mm-hmm.
Historical Fiction of the Year. That's just not any award.
Right.
That's pretty deep. So we're going to get into that depth.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to be pretty cool. But what I like to learn, and I think what my listeners really like to learn, is a little bit about somebody's history.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start at the beginning. Where were you born? Where'd you grow up? Give us some context.
Well, I was born in Coldwater, Michigan, down there on the border of Indiana, back in 72. My childhood was pretty typical. There's nothing really exciting. I'd like to tell you I bungee jumped out of the womb or something. It was pretty typical childhood in a small town. Not quite that small anymore, but it was a great place to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the first of my family to go to college. Realized that I wanted to do that early on, so I took all the hard classes and worked really hard. We weren't a wealthy family.
Mm-hmm.
So I earned the scholarships to go to Michigan State.
Ooh, Sparty.
That's why my voice was a little hoarse last night's game.
Yelling at the TV.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was a rough loss.
Oh,
Any siblings?
I do. I have two brothers. I have an older brother, Roger, who is still in Coldwater.
Yep.
He's an electrician there with his wife and son. And then I have a younger brother who just finished his master's degree from Michigan State.
Very cool.
His name is Josh, and he lives in Ocean Beach, California. And he and his wife, Gail, just had their son, Mako.
How fun.
A couple years ago. So we've got a little Broughman in the house.
So growing up, was there a lot of rough and tumble? Was it a lot of reading? What kind of?
Yes, we had our
Three brothers.
Yeah, we had our tumbles.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of love too, though. Rough and tumble, but a lot of love too. A lot of reading. Yes.
What do you remember? Mom reading to you? Dad reading to you? What was the start of that?
This was probably kind of strange to say, but I wasn't in love with reading when I was a kid. I was too busy, I guess. But the
It could be used for a fire starter. We got to give a little context to this. Inside joke.
Yes.
What was that book? Of Mice and Men? Right?
It is, yes.
All right.
Brilliant book.
Yeah. So literally brilliant. Let's reframe that.
Yeah.
I read it, and yes, I know it's a powerhouse. My objection to it is the ending. And my objection to that is books that place ideas in people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
That's my objection to it. Not that it's it's incredible, right? The story, they hit so much in what? Maybe 5 or 6 chapters. Like it's
barely over 100 pages.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can read that book quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And the depth of that in that 100 pages is amazing. And my only objection was the last part.
Oh, I remember. I think you're
Yeah.
kind of mad.
So, because I think about this, if you have a young, impressionable mind
Sure.
and you put ideas like that in there, you never know where that goes. That's kind of what I think about. And humans, unfortunately, are very impressionable.
Oh, I see it every day.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. So what have you been an educator 25, 30 years?
I'm in the throes of my 27th
Oh,
year
so
here in
right
Harbor.
almost. Yeah. So you have a real understanding of young adolescent mindset,
Sure.
maturity,
And immaturity. Yeah.
and immaturity.
Yeah.
All right. So you're growing up. Of Mice and Men was one of the books you read. You loved it.
I loved
What the author did with it.
I loved what it did to me. I wasn't it made me feel, and it made me hurt,
Oh yeah,
and it made me mad. And I think that
is what stuck.
we can
with
agree
you.
on that probably.
We can.
That it enraged me, and I was I guess stunned that something outside of myself could have that kind of impact,
Mm,
and still does.
sure.
You know, I still think about the situations in that.
Right.
Well, we didn't have to deal with spoiler alert. I mean, I still think about the deaths that occurred that didn't have to, and it's infuriating and frustrating. I think anything that that can provoke you to that extent, I just the power of that.
Sure.
bores me.
Or the dream that never materialized.
Yeah.
Right. I think a lot of people dream and they don't see their dreams come true.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, there were a lot of interesting parallels to people's lives woven into that story.
Yes.
Yeah. And who was that? Was it Lenny? Was the big guy?
Lenny was a big guy.
Yeah. See, you don't forget these names.
No, I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
And George is his. Well, I'm not going to say
Companion.
savior, but
Yeah.
companion.
Yeah. Kind of kept him away from what was going to happen at the end.
As long as he could.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
All right. So this book opens your eyes up to what writing can do, right?
Yes, that sounds really dramatic, but I do think that, and there were others. That one stands out off the top of my head just because we shared it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I thought that was the gateway to seeing that there are, we can live in other worlds and maybe experience other people's, to be in their shoes, even if it's just in the pages or in print for a little while.
Right.
And again, this sounds really sentimental, but I think that actually could impact the way the world is working. I think if we can read and experience other people's pains and triumphs, this doesn't all have to be negative.
Right.
We can experience their triumphs and their success and their lives. Perhaps we'd be more understanding, tolerant, appreciative.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think books hold that kind of power.
Well, books definitely hold a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
So did you end up taking that 100-page model and applying that philosophy in this one?
I'm sure somewhere.
This was a deep novel. It was not 100 pages.
It was not. No. I would, and it was actually longer. It's called Kill Your Darlings. There were a few chapters that I was asked to cut, just simply for financial reasons, which I understand.
Did you do it?
I did.
Yeah.
And it did make sense afterwards, but it was hard because, well, you've read it, like everything in there's a reason.
Yeah.
So that was difficult, but that's the world of writing. You know, you have to contain it and whatnot.
Yeah, because the story could be never ending.
Mm-hmm.
And you could go down lots of different rabbit holes.
And I did. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, I do think that my experience with reading early on, like Steinbeck and all of the classic writers,
Hmm.
I am sure that they're in there somewhere. I couldn't pinpoint it by any means, um, but I think that any author or doctor, any of your livelihood, all of your prior experiences are coming out at any time, right? They're
The part of they make up who you are.
right.
For sure.
Even in this conversation right now, our history is showing up somewhere in there, and I just think when it's in this form, then it's just like a tangible.
Sure.
So yes, my childhood experiences, including books that were given to me, are definitely. Mhm.
Did you do any creative writing in high school?
I took one class. Um,
Don't tell me you failed it. Please don't tell me you failed it. And
No.
then you write a novel that wins awards.
Oh, that'd have been a better story than
That
what
would have
I'm
been
about
great.
to say. No, I was a good kid and a good student, and no, I think I got an A minus and was all upset about that. But uh, yeah, I did take one class in high school. It, and it showed me that I could. Obviously, I wasn't a good writer back then. I
No,
think
because it's a skill.
the skill that has
Yeah.
to be honed and for years, and I'm still honing it. Um, but it did certainly show me that I could spill things out on the page that obviously were running through my mind and my heart. So I do think it opened my eyes to the idea of it. But I also was kind of I was a shy, timid kid. So the thought of ever doing something like writing a book would have never even, I, I was a scared, backward
Mhm.
kid. And I would have never thought in a million years that I would write a book that, let alone one that won awards. Like that wouldn't have even,
Didn't cross your mind.
no.
Did you get in any trouble as a kid?
Well, I'm, honestly, I want to make something up right now that makes me more interesting, but no, I was a good kid, and of course
Little things.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got to think this through because I'm sure some of my students are going to hear this, but
I know. It's definitely why I want to ask these questions. Your kids are going to hear this. This is good.
I certainly tested the waters like everybody else. I
Part of growing up.
right.
Yeah.
But I never did anything to warrant jail time, anything fascinating like that.
That's boring.
It is, but I'm very truthful with my students, so I did share with them. We had an incident not too long ago, and I was talking about the AI
Mm.
situation and the line between are you cheating or not, kind of thing. Uh, and I thought if I'm going to make this real and make this count, then I have to be vulnerable. So I just flat out told. I said, yeah, I cheated. Told them about an incident I cheated. It was early on in college, and I was working a lot of hours, and I just didn't have time. And bottom line is I cheated and got caught. And I said the difference was I didn't hem and haw and say, well, technically I didn't cheat because blah, blah, blah.
Right. You said, I did it.
But of course I did.
Yeah.
Yep. And you caught me, and I need, what's my punishment? Because I deserve one, And actually, that led to a fascinating conversation, and I don't want to call any kids out or embarrass them. There's a lot of eyes open through that conversation about accountability. And
Well, you're being transparent.
yeah, I think
Right.
students need to see, not just students, this isn't about that. We all need to see ourselves being vulnerable in front of others. It's healthy.
I don't think that's a common thing with teachers. I think there's a wall. A lot of times.
Mhm.
Right. There's a big separation. The kids don't often think of the teachers as going through what they went through in high school or
No.
struggling with the things they struggled with.
No.
Yeah, there's a big misunderstanding there. So
I purposefully try to. I run a tight ship, and we talk about respect almost on a daily basis. But I think if kids don't feel that they can peek over that wall now and again and talk to you, then what the hell are we there for?
sure. Well, yeah, but that's teaching, right? That's not just making sure that they know their literature before they leave.
Right.
Yeah. So there's life lessons that these kids are going to take with them and be like, man, Mr. Broughman's class, man, it stretched me, but I'll never forget it. Right.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's every teacher's hope. But you got to really love what you do to go to that depth.
I still do. I do. I love what I do. I love kids.
I would say that's 99% of teachers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could get a little burnout.
The job has gotten exponentially harder. I will say that.
Sure. Because of the change in culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no question that the mindset, well, and the mindset is weird. I think it's coming from parents. And I don't know how that shifts, but let's say 20 years ago, so you would have been working for 5-7 years ish.
Mm-hmm.
You had a problem with the student, you'd probably call home and the parent would take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's completely different. You have a problem with the student and the parent's defending the student. And you just, it's baffling that shift in that mindset.
It is. It's tricky. You know, there's a lot of, if you do want to reprimand a student or whatnot, there's a lot of documentation that needs to go with it now. It's not just I saw this and clear cut kind of thing.
Right.
But I think in the heart of all of it, though, I still think the essence of parents wanting the best for their children is still there. I do think, again, I hope, and this isn't to say that I'm some great teacher. I'm not, but I do hope that the kids realize that I do run. It's a tight rope in there, and it's meant to be, because I think kids want that and they need it. That's what I'm trying to say. Kids still want to be challenged.
Let's use this. Let's just say it's healthy boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And some kids come into your classroom and don't understand boundaries.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But that's part of the course, right? I mean, every generation you could probably find some people that don't understand boundaries, but when you're, I don't want to say demanding respect, but when you're kind of saying, hey, this is how things work, and if you're outside of these guidelines, this class is going to be tough.
And I think if those boundaries aren't established, then kids aren't comfortable coming to you. You have to have the boundaries first, and then the respect is there,
mm-hmm.
and then the comfort level with, I've got a problem, I'm going to go see him.
Well, yeah, but that's trust. Yeah, so the way I've heard this, and you're probably creating this, you're creating an environment where a kid can make a mistake and not feel like they have to hide it. And a lot of our culture, people feel like they have to hide mistakes. And then so you just learn, like, I don't even know what it creates, but it creates almost like a pretending. Like you're always pretending things are good, or, it creates a weird psychology. But when I'm vulnerable and says, man, I messed up. And you're like, well, that's part of life.
Right. Yes.
And we want you to mess up here. And we won't talk about it because that's how you learn. Yeah.
That's really well said. And I'm kind of in awe, because I was just having this conversation. It might have been with a student, now that I think about it. But it was talking about how it's time to, I asked them, aren't you sick and tired of pretending to be someone that you're not? And
tears start flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I said it's exhausting. And
Yeah.
then I said, I'm not saying this because said, I'm saying this because I understand and I did it too. But I said the most refreshing, amazing experience of my life is when I decided to step down off stage. Uh, and I exited stage right, and I have never been happier. Did my friend circle shrink? You bet. You bet. But I couldn't be happier because I was allowing myself to be treated a certain way for fear of not maintaining these friendships.
Mhm.
But it was the best thing that ever happened. And my
It's very
circle has
healthy.
shrunk, but I love my circle now
Mhm.
because I'm myself.
Yeah. The way I phrase it is you taking the mask off. Right?
Yeah.
We put all these different masks on to be different people for different things.
Mhm.
And obviously, ultimate maturity is getting to that point where you're like, I'm done with this.
Which I know is easier for us at our age because I obviously we wouldn't have taken our masks off in high school. Not yet, I don't think.
Well, yeah, that's a psychological thing. So, identity formation, I've done a ton of reading on this. In high school, identity formation is basically, and it's sad to say it this way, but it's comparing yourself to other people. Now, there's lots of different outlets for somebody to be, I don't want to say exceptional, but good. For instance, you might not be the best athlete, but you might be really good in band. Um, you might be really good at school. You might be good at athletics. All these allow people to develop different parts of their identity where they look at someone else and they go, well, compared to them, I'm doing pretty well. Well, if a kid has none of those experiences, then they start forming that negative self identity like, man, I don't compare to anybody. I'm not good at music. I'm not good at school. You know, it takes them a long time to figure out what they're good at. It could be music, but they don't explore it. I'm thinking like in a band setting, they don't explore that in high school. As we move through the years, comparing yourself to someone else is the absolute worst thing you could do, which is what you're saying,
Mhm.
because now you're at the age where that's the last thing we want to do for identity.
Yeah, and it is frustrating sometimes because I do see these kids going through it, and I do have these conversations.
Mhm.
Just had one this week, um, and I want to scream and say, God, I want to save you 20 years of anguish and
Pain.
and tell you to just trust me, get over it now. And but I know it all takes steps. The other part too is, and it's hard, obviously, teaching in a public school because I would like to talk to them about the faith element of this. Like
Mm,
we're all put here for a reason, and it's up to us to find it.
sure.
And if we're succumbing to these insecurities and not rising up and becoming the best versions of ourselves, it's not fair to the world because we're meant to contribute to it.
Mhm.
And I do get to have those conversations. I just have to be careful about how they're framed.
Sure.
Um, but I do get to say those that
Mhm.
you do have a purpose here. Now,
Yeah,
get your butt out there and find it.
which is a lifelong pursuit.
It is.
And it changes.
Absolutely.
That's the confusing part,
Mhm.
because our purpose evolves.
Well, you and I have had talks about this. I mean, and that's because our ethicality aligns because we know that our primary purpose was to rear our children, to become
Sure.
the best that they can be.
Mhm.
Um, but again, it does change because
Right.
I was meant to write this book. I don't think it had anything to do with me, but I had to go figure out that there was a story
Mhm.
that was being put in my heart and my soul, and it was up to me to find it and write it. I didn't have a right not to write it.
Well, you have to have certain experiences before it could come out.
You're 1000% right. I could not have written that book at any other time.
Do you force your kids to read that? Not your personal kids, your students?
No, no. Wow, no. Actually, we had a situation because I try to separate those worlds. My pursuit, my dream of doing,
Is separate of the education.
and it should be. But
Sure.
it's a small town, and social media has made it impossible to divorce those two things completely.
Everybody knows you're famous.
I don't know about fame, but I just, and it's kind of funny because just this week too, the kids had a project, and they were analyzing, and they found a couple pictures of me on the internet and put them up on but it's all in good fun. But I did have to draw a very definitive line, and this book was not meant for your eyes. When you're 18 and you want to buy the book and you want to read it and have me sign it, absolutely.
Right.
And I had an incident too. I was at a literary festival. And they asked me to sign books and whatnot. And this girl, might have been 14.
You didn't sign it.
I said, I can't.
No.
And I said, what I will
Did she read it?
She came back twice. She was kind of upset. And I said, as a father, I can't do this. And I said, if your father comes here and I have a conversation with him and he allows you to do it, then okay. Sure enough,
Dad came back.
here comes Dad. And I said, I just want to tell you, like, you're a father. I wouldn't let my daughter read this yet.
Yeah.
When she's 18, I would ask her to read because I think you'd be healthy. But it's not now.
Yeah. Because she doesn't understand things at 14.
Well, she bought it. My wife and I looked at each other, and she's like, we've warned them and told them, so I think the book could actually, I'm not going to say cause harm, but could cause confusion.
For sure.
No.
Yeah, because some of the stuff you describe is deep and very heavy.
It's very heavy, and I had to do so much research in some of those aspects because obviously I haven't experienced some of that, which is a whole other conversation we can have.
Sure.
About the publishing world and writing outside of your experience.
Isn't it true historical fiction takes the most research?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this epic takes place, right around the Civil War?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Through it and beyond. And
yeah.
But I would say that of the 12 years it took me to write this, I would say half of it was probably spent researching. Because you can't write this book. If I wanted this book, if the idea of this book was put in my head, in my beliefs, I think God chose me to write this book.
Okay.
Then I don't have a right to not get up at 4 a.m. and do this research and make sure it's accurate and right. That's just irresponsible.
How many weeks, months, years did you get up at 4 a.m. to do that?
This book was written between 4 and 6 a.m.
For how long?
The actual writing part, oh my gosh, I almost said 6-7 years. That's a meme now. I don't know if you know that.
6, 7. I have teenagers.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But I honestly probably was 6-7 years. But I said when I decided that I was going to heed this call, because I wasn't going to.
No, it's hard to step up.
I was like, I'm not doing that.
I don't have time.
It's a lot of work. I don't have time. But when I decided, like, okay, I'm going to do this, I also made the decision at that time that this is my venture and my dream and that sounds arrogant to say my calling, but I do think I was called to do it.
Well,
and
we could call it your purpose.
Touche.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Oh, name of this podcast is Purpose Maker.
Yeah, I noticed. That was clever.
I love talking about wisdom and getting it out of people.
But I don't think that I had a right to. I said that this would not impede my family whatsoever. So that means I don't
4 a.m. when they're sleeping.
Yeah, I will not miss a soccer game. I will not miss a concert. None of it. And And that's probably why it took a lot longer.
Sure. I mean, you could
Right.
have pushed the wife aside, you could push the kid aside, and you could have been like, Dad's working on his novel. Be typing every evening.
And we did have, if I'm honest, I mean, we had a handful of experiences where it just quite literally, it was like, this
Have
is
to
due.
finish it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think at that point, everybody's like, well, of
It was
course.
kind of at the finish line.
And I'm sure my son was like, you can skip a soccer game. You're kind of loud and obnoxious there anyway. You can skip one.
Your son's a good soccer player.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's worked really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was also going to, not only do I think that, so I did another talk. I had written an essay about parents pursuing their dreams and how it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. Like, yes, I categorize it from 4 to 6 a.m., but if I really thought hard about it, I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was something along these lines. So I did have a few times where I spilled over from 6 to 7:30 or something. You know, I was in there a little bit longer because things were flowing. And this was early on in oh my gosh, she's going to kill me if I tell this story, but they kind of knew that, you know, I'll come out and don't interrupt yet. And my youngest interrupted. And he obviously just wanted to see Dad, you know, but he interrupted, and his excuse was that he had went potty. This was a long time.
Uh-huh.
So I said, okay. And, you know, he wanted me to come in and see that he had used the potty.
Mm-hmm.
The point of all that is that moment was very, very special. And I think, like we were talking about earlier, I think it probably played in somewhere.
Mm.
You know, when I see these big blue eyes looking at me like, can I interrupt? And I went potty, and all the pride and all that, that's in there too,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. Can I pinpoint it? No. But maybe in the essence of one of the exchanges between the characters, maybe it's a little bit more real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think having kids is not a hindrance to your pursuits of your dreams as a parent.
Right.
I think it's,
Well, you can learn from them.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you too, of course.
Sure. Yeah, both ways. So clearly somebody doesn't sit down and just say, I'm going to write a historical fiction. Boom. So how does that, were you writing previously? What was going on? How do we get to start figuring out something like this?
So the journey for this book, well, it's actually quite clear. The path was a strange one,
Mm-hmm.
but I can recall it definitively. I wanted to write a story just because, and kind of arrogant that way. Like if I think I want to try something, I want to do it and then check it off and say, yeah, I did it. So I thought, you know, I'm going to write a story. And I did. It was a weird experience. I was out on the beach in Good Harbor.
Do you like long walks on the beach?
Why, yes, I do.
Uh-huh. That's how you got your wife, isn't it?
I'm trying to think of something witty to respond there, but I gotta be careful. Yeah, I was out there on the beach. If you've never been there, it's kind of creepy. There's the cemetery
Right up there.
and then, you know, then it's kind of isolated beach.
Yeah, the soul's looking over the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was there kind of
Like,
night.
ooh, yeah.
But I don't know. This story popped in my head, and it was actually terrible. A boy that in my head he had drowned because I saw a rock out there, and I'm like, no, what if that's a boy? And then again, back to the Of Mice and Men thing, where it sparked something. All of a sudden, it wasn't fun anymore. It was like I got riled up. Like, what if that happened? And who did this to this boy? And again, I got all excited, like it's happening again.
Right.
And I went home and wrote it, and it was not well done. I think he winds up like someone looks off in the sunset at the end or something. It's, kind of silly, but what it did was it ignited that in me again.
Mm.
And then I just started writing a couple short stories. I didn't know anything about the process. Nobody does. You're just thrown into it. You got to just kind of flail and figure it out. So I just started sending them to places. And then I sent one. And of course, you get all the rejections. That's part of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember the phrase from Stephen King, but he said, if you can't plaster at least your living room and 3 bedrooms with your rejection letters, you're not an author. So, and it's true. But one of them finally stuck. And,
very few people can see talent.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
When this story stuck, that was a sign like, oh, they want to publish this. Okay. And then they actually asked for another one. And then a third. I was like, okay, I enjoy doing this. And there's some kind of merit in it. Well, then I wrote one and sent it to a bigger contest. It was out in New Mexico. And I feel like I'm bragging. I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to tell the journey.
Say it. You won that one.
I won. Wow. So I'm going to start talking about Mice and Men again. Then, yeah, I flew out there. It was great. They flew me out there, and I worked with this New York Times best-selling author. And it was kind of intimidating. But while I was there, she said, these aren't short stories. She said, this is a book.
Mm.
And she said, it's up to us to figure this out.
You start connecting the dots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was frustrating. It was a lot. I still have a picture of it somewhere where she had this ridiculously long table, maybe twice the size of this.
Everything laid out.
Just Post-it notes and paper and just the whole thing was covered.
So what are you trying to do at this point? Like figure out the storyline?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And she was right. It was there. And after that, she's like, congratulations, but now go write it. So 7-8 years later, she was right. All those stories strung together into one, and they were meant to meld together into this.
To the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was a lot of work to go backwards, to have the fragment and then go back.
Mm.
But again, if you're being called to do something like that, I had to remind myself so many times. And you'll probably know what I'm talking about. There's some really uncomfortable things.
Sure.
That
yeah,
happen.
it addresses some real dark stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I had to keep reminding myself there's somebody out there waiting to read this so that they feel less alone, or that they say, yeah, and then they say, I'm going to start healing now. Or so when the work got really hard, and believe me, I honestly put this away 3 or 4 times. I quit.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't worth it anymore. But if I kept going back to that and making it not about me, making it about some reader out there that I probably won't ever meet, it just felt better. And I got more inspired, I guess, to finish.
To do it, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of I don't know if you call it topics or what, but both the darkness and the light are universal truths, right? I mean, these are things humans have been struggling with since the beginning of time, and there's stuff that humans still struggle with.
Well, there's stuff that will never stop.
Right. It's like just prejudice. It's one of the major things. And then on the other side, redemption or forgiveness.
Sure.
So
I will say one of the things that stuck out to me the most is, and I was worried because there are things that I wondered if I do I have the right to write about? And I struggled with that a lot. But then I kept having to go back to it. Well, I
have to.
I didn't have a right not to. If I'm being knocked on the head, like, hey, write this book, I can't worry about all of those other things. You don't have a right to write this. I can't worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like once the book is done and it's out there, it's none of my business who chooses to read it or not read it. It's
Right.
not my business.
Sure. Yeah, but it's hard exposing your soul.
Mhm.
I mean, that's literally, you're saying, this is me. You're putting it out there.
Mhm.
This is my work. And there's something challenging about finding your voice, and in your sense, your voice on paper.
Not only is it challenging, I think it. There were times where I stopped writing and had to take a break because it was taking a toll on me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was challenging but gutting at the same time.
Exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But again, I'll go back to I had an incident. I could get into all the publishing stuff if you want, but it's such a messy process. But during one of the layers, you've got to find these beta readers, and they try to get beta readers from different factions of life, different experiences, But I was worried because there was one woman who read the book, and she said, "Can we talk?"
Was she critical?
I thought that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought, "Oh, here we go,"
Yeah.
Because I did worry, I'm not a woman.
Yeah, there's some dark stuff.
I haven't
Yep.
been sexually assaulted.
Mm-hmm.
But it actually gets me a little emotional. She called to tell me, she said, "Thank you." There's, the scenes in here
Mm-hmm.
where I remember stopping. I can't write that. Where is that coming from? But I went back and finished. I was so worried about it, but she said, "Thank you." That I'm a survivor. And she said, finally, somebody stopped sugarcoating that and made it as vile and disgusting as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And right there, it was just, and she was emotional, and it made me emotional because for me, selfishly,
sure,
I was like, okay, God, that's why I was getting up at 4 to 6 and doing this. I mean, there it is.
Oh yeah, there's parts of the book I had tears streaming down my face.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But again, I go back to, well, that says something about you too, to feel the capacity of this,
Mm-hmm.
But that, I didn't need anybody else. Like, yes, it was nice to get these awards. I'm not going to lie. It felt good.
Got them plastered all over your walls, covering the negative ones.
Tattooed on my back. But I didn't need anybody. That one phone call was enough.
Yeah.
If all of those hours were for that, I'm good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So the book takes place in the UP, mainly.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit in Chicago. Fictional town, right?
Yeah.
And you had placed it between two towns up there. Was it? Is it pronounced Leanne's? How you say?
Lant.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Marquette, it's over there. I don't have it pinpointed on, but in my head, it's in that region.
What's your connection with the UP?
Just absolutely obsessed. The UP. I am.
It's a different world.
It is for now still. I think more and more people are discovering it. I think even from 10 years ago, the essence is shifting a little bit.
If we switch again, climate-wise, start getting hammered with snow and deep cold, it'll prevent a lot of people from coming up there.
Might balance back the other way.
Yes.
Right.
That's a hard place to live.
Sure. But we're still in love. I mean, we've been trying to get property there for a long time, but again, people have discovered it. It's just prices are going up and all that. But every chance we get, we're camping up there. And actually, I'm going to be. I was just asked to be a guest speaker at Manistique's first literary festival.
How fun!
Yeah, I'm very honored and flattered and all those things, but that's our favorite city. And I can't wait. It's actually the end of February.
Nice.
We just love what the Upper Peninsula represents. It represents nature and resilience
Hard work.
and hardiness
Yeah.
and all of those things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Some good values.
Plus the fishing's good.
Plus what?
The fishing's good.
The fishing's good. Yeah, for sure. All right. So you win the award, which is how do you find out about that? They give you a call, they send you an email.
There's been different it's different per organization. So the first, this is a whole other story. So I had actually, so one of the times when I had put the book away and said, screw this, that lasted a couple months. Because I had pretty much one, I'd sent it out to a couple places, but again, I'm new at this, so I don't know how it works. So when I got a rejection letter, you're rejecting me? You know, I'm like, kind of stings a little bit. The first one, the 30th, you're like, okay, cool. But that is part of the process. But I had put it away, and I'm like, I'm not going to keep sending this out and being rejected and I don't even know why, and I don't get it. Again, there's issues we could discuss about. I think some places are uncomfortable with people writing outside of experiences.
Sure. Then on the lightning rod if there's any kind of controversy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. And it landed where it was supposed to. The publisher who took it, it all worked out. It was supposed to.
Sure.
So I had put it away. I had a favor. Send it out one more time. And I'm not embellishing this. It sounds kind of like cheesy, but it was like that one more time.
Mm-hmm.
But I did. But out of spite, I was like, watch this. I'm going to send it to some ridiculous contest.
Like random publishing house, something big.
Like some huge, yeah. And it was some like first novel contest. I think it was out of London. And then I didn't even think about it then. But then I got an email that said, you're down to the top 10.
Oh.
And I thought, oh.
That's cool.
Part of me was cool. Part of me was like, oh, crap. Now I got to do this.
I got to deal with this.
So that was the impetus to keep going. And then after that, yeah, I was very flattered. It won the Hawthorne Prize from the American Writing Awards.
Which is a big one.
It was, yeah. This feels weird to talk about this, but yeah, it was cool. And then it was entered into that same organization, American Writing Awards, and they declared it the best historical fiction book of the year for them. It's one of some other things here and there.
Like setting the bar high, your first book.
I know now. I don't know if I can compete with this, but I am working on another one, so we'll see what happens. And the beauty about this is I didn't write this book to win award. I didn't.
No,
it was
not once.
No,
you can hear that in your story.
I had no intention,
Yeah.
and I didn't even really mean for it to do well. I just wanted to write this book because, again, I felt like I had to.
Mm-hmm.
It was
like an obligation.
Yeah, and it wasn't me. It wasn't about me. It was
inspired.
Yeah, it truly was. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So what genre are you going to write in for the second one?
So I am, I don't know how much I can talk about this. I think I can talk about I'm one of the people that read the book, whom I respect greatly. He asked me to write a book with him. So we're co-authoring a book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a whole new genre, something I'm
in Mice and Men too. What is it?
I don't know if I'm just going to give a spoiler there.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah.
Just give us the genre then.
The genre is called upmarket fiction.
Okay.
And from my understanding, it's basically to appease people who need the fast pace, because we all want to keep turning the page. Isn't that the job of an author? Is you want them to turn to the next page. So it focuses on that.
And unfortunately, less people read today.
And that is a whole, I can't talk about that.
You can or can't?
I can.
Oh, yeah.
So it is, this upmarket is that, but it's not supposed to lose its literary quality. So you're getting both of those things. So it's focusing on the event, and you get to know the characters because of the event that they're, we're in here. I could marinate for a while and tell you about these people, and you have less room or space to do that in this new book. And the new book follows two men taking a journey. They are taking a long road trip because there's a situation they need to address. But these men are you and me. They're family. They have families, and it's kind of strange that they're leaving and doing
embarking on this. Yeah.
And then it's about their experiences along the way, but it's also about their relationship as well, because they don't necessarily agree on everything in life. So there's some very meaningful, this was the point of us writing it. There's some very meaningful conversations and disagreements. We're hoping that readers can read this and maybe realize that you don't have to agree on everything. And
what a concept.
You can actually still shake hands and respect one another.
Yeah, it'd be nice if America got back to that.
We're hoping we're not arrogant enough to think that this book will
change the United States.
Millions, right?
No, but at least it address the problem these days.
And again, if one reader, it has and it has an impact, and it was worth it.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of issues around identity. I always find it real interesting when people identify with certain narrow sections of life, where they just say, this is who I am. I'm going to hang my flag on this. I just find that very fascinating.
And then dig their heels in and then back into it, no matter what.
But it shouldn't be surprising if somebody could join a gang, right? Then it's very easy to join other things that aren't that violent.
Sure.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot. I grew up around a lot of gang activity, so I saw that mentality. And I could see why people would gravitate to that for protection reasons. And, it's dangerous to walk on the street alone, but now you got a couple of buddies. It's a whole bunch different.
Well, it's a family, right? And that they might be lacking that.
Might be dysfunctional, but you still know somebody's thinking about you.
Right.
Okay. So you got a published date for that book? You guys writing it now, or are you in the publishing phase? Where are you?
We finished our draft. Now we're going through the nitpicky stuff. There's so much that goes into it behind the scenes. Like for Bellwether, I remember thinking, okay, I'm done. I think I'm done, because you don't know when you're done. It's just
it's a hard line to draw.
Yeah, you don't see you just kind of just stop writing.
Yeah.
But then's the next phase where you do these developmental edits. That's where they go through, and those are the big issues. Like, this plot arc isn't working, or this character's too flat. The big stuff. And that's where the real work is. And then you do the line by line edit. And those are absolutely grueling. And you can, my gosh, you can have a 20-minute conversation over whether this comma belongs there or not.
Right. One line. Yeah.
And I remember there were 2 or 3 in there where I was, again, intimidated. I don't know this process.
But they can change the story.
Yes.
I saw somebody doing that with some Christian text. and he was moving the comma, and what was actually being said, the context of that completely changed.
Absolutely.
That was fascinating.
And there are, you have to fight a little bit
For what you mean,
for what
you
mean.
wanted to say.
Yeah, and there was only a couple hills I was willing to die on there, but I did. And again, I was intimidated by the whole thing. So, okay, yes, whatever you want.
Because they have experience and this is your first book.
Right.
Yeah.
But there were a couple things.
Well, now that you've won awards, that changes.
Yeah, I'm still overwhelmed and intimidated by the whole thing. And I got to make sure. I have to make sure that if I keep doing this, that I have to keep framing it in that way that we talked. Is I have to make sure that I'm still doing it for the right reasons, because once I stop, once that shifts, then I don't have anything to do with it anymore.
Sure.
So I have to make sure and ask myself in my heart of hearts, are you writing this because you want to contribute to the greater good? If there's a morsel of me that says no,
I just want to make money.
Yeah, I like the. Oh,
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing we could talk about with.
Yeah, because it's not easy to make money writing.
No, but that's what people don't understand.
They think you're a multimillionaire.
Right.
Life's done. Yep.
It's not.
No.
That's not how it works at all. I had one of my son's friends, great kid, and didn't mean anything by it at all. But he came over, and it was the first time he said something like, he said, I thought your dad was like a famous author. Well, he writes books. Well, why don't you have a nicer house? And it made me laugh because people do have that. I don't know that it's a misnomer. It's not true. I read somewhere that if you break even on your first book, then you're the upper echelon.
Yep.
So, and then I had another woman when I was getting my MFA, quite a famous, well-established author, and she was telling the story that when she got her first contract, all excited, and then when it was all said and done, she said she was able to replace her old couch and take her spouse to dinner, and she considered herself that was a win.
That is a win.
Yeah.
Speaking of, the book's available on Amazon.
It is.
Yes.
Available on Amazon, or you can go directly to the press, which is Anamkara Press.
Do you have a website? Do you have a social media presence?
I have all that. The website is just Chad V. Broughman. I my better half takes care of all of that stuff. But yeah, there's Instagram and all of those things.
Your handler.
My handler, yes. Yeah. Does a much better job than I ever could.
She's amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Yep.
I married way up. I know. You didn't do too badly.
I was going to say, that's both of us. Okay, so someone can find it on Amazon, and then you get a lot of people that read it and then write you or say,
I do, yes. Yes, I've done quite a few talks around the state, and I used to hate those. I don't like being the center of attention, and talk about being on a stage, like quite literally. Now you're on a stage.
you are the son. Yeah, they're asking you the questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think I'm circumventing your question, and I don't mean to, but I would like to say this again. What I've found is that people read the book and they want to talk about the characters and the events and traumas, and hope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hope.
There's a lot of hope.
But what I found over and over and over again is that a lot of the people contact me or stay around because they want to talk about their dreams and their pursuits,
Sure.
and they want to go down that path. Which, again, I am so happy to do that
Mm-hmm.
because of that was what this book was about too. Is that if me just having done that, I can inspire other people to say, "Wait,
I got a story I got to get off my chest.
not even a story." There was one, yes, but there was one situation where there was a couple people. One reached out after we'd had a chat about the book, and she wrote to tell me that she was inspired to lose weight, and I was kind of taken aback, like what? And she said, "Well, we talked, and during this conversation, when we were talking about the book, and then you moved to people pursuing their dreams and becoming the best version of themselves." She said, "I just took away from that, like, I wanted to lose this weight for so long, and now's the time, and what am I waiting for?" And oh my God, that was such a great moment.
I mean, that's kind of the central story of your book.
Losing weight.
No, not losing weight. Being inspired to do something you've been called to do or whatever. And obviously she took it that direction, but
And I would have never guessed that. And it was so meaningful and special. And
yeah, because she was being honest.
well, it makes me think, you don't know. You don't know the impact that you're going to have if you're not becoming the best that you can be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, again, what I tell some of my students. It's not fair to all the people that you're going to meet in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Just had this conversation again
Yep.
very recently. It's not fair to your future spouse or your future kids if you're thrown in the towel and you're not going through the hard stuff so that you can come out on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And be the man or woman that you were meant to be. I had another guy too, same thing. Told me that he was going to start his drywall business. How cool is that?
Right.
I mean, that's there's no drywall in this book.
There wasn't drywall back in
Correct.
1865.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing about drywall in that book, but if
No.
that's what you got out of this,
Right.
thank you.
Mm.
Like, I want to thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Yeah, go start your drywall business, dude.
Inspired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you're inspiring people to be their best versions, like you said.
I pray.
That scares
pray
people,
so.
though.
It is scary.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's not easy. It's not easy. And
neither is struggling.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They're both not easy.
Right.
Yeah, I see a lot of people struggle. Addictions, coping problems, those kind of things. And that's not easy either. So
I also think that it can't be easy to know that you're made for more.
no, because the light scares us too.
And to sit there and live in mediocrity and not go towards the light, I think that's got to be terrifying and scary too.
Yeah, because we have to shine that light in corners of our soul we don't want to see. Let's be real honest with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Wow. Yeah, I'm with you. Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And that is what's going to keep me finishing this next book. And if nothing more, if somebody says, wow, this 53-year-old tired old guy can pursue his dreams and raise a family and do it, then I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Then great.
Well, it's inspiring to see people do it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I use is something called your vocal identity. And we don't discuss that very often, but it's learning to speak up. And for a long time, we're very hesitant with our opinions or what we think. And then as you start to develop that vocal identity, that's what inspires people, because now you're speaking right to it.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the stories you're sharing with these people that are doing these things in their lives. It's because you spoke up.
I like that. And I do, and I use your terminology. I think our pursuit of seeking a vocal identity has been strangled. And, but I do see people coming like they're sick of it,
Mhm.
and they're starting to speak up
Oh yeah, there's
more.
definitely a tide change.
Mhm.
I kind of talk about it like a pendulum. Things swing really far radical,
Mhm.
and then people go, "This doesn't feel good. This isn't sustainable." And then the pendulum starts to swing back. And if it goes too far either direction, it gets a little weird.
Sure. Well, it goes back to the thing we said. If you're not leaning into your vocal identity, then again, you're acting. You're on stage again. Right. So yeah, I like that.
Well, it's something we have to learn to develop, and it's not talked about very often. It's learning to gain that voice. And that voice can be verbal, communicating. That voice can be literary, and it can be a combination. Like you said, getting on stage and talking about your book is now both of them. Even when you're like, this is the last place I saw myself was doing this.
Well, as you're speaking, I'm thinking through the characters in that book.
Oh man, speaking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the ones who, and the ones who are strangled
Mhm.
and what it does to
The
them.
voices that were silenced.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So as you move towards retirement in the teaching aspect, do you then segue into a full-time author? Is that the thinking? Or
I think that will, that, that path will be determined for me. Yes, that would be a dream come true.
kind of unfold as you're walking
Mhm.
through it?
So I don't know, but I can certainly smile thinking about that, being a possibility.
Mhm.
But again, we, my family is my priority, and financial stability comes first. I'm all about taking risks, but not ones that,
Calculated.
they can't harm my family's way of life.
Mhm.
Right? So, and if it's meant to be, it will unfold as it's supposed to, and then I will do the work.
Mhm.
But I am coming to the end of my teaching career. I think my kids are young. I can't just retire and jet off to Paris or anything like that. But I don't know how many years I have left, but we're getting there.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that young kid that said something about the house, he doesn't realize that the real goal is to live in a cabin,
Right.
right?
Right.
You wouldn't believe how many people I take care of because I take care of some extremely wealthy families.
Mhm.
How many of them downsize as they get older? I was like, isn't this fascinating? I'm blessed to see a lot of different philosophies on life. I love it. I mean, that perspective is amazing. And that so many people waste time pursuing the wrong things, then to turn around and change course as they get older. And I was just like, why even go that route? Why own 4 homes around this country when the end game is peace and simplicity? I mean, that's where you eventually want to get. And they all downsize. It's just such a fascinating trajectory to see.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
We live in a place where
It's idolized.
all of the people that visit,
Yeah.
they're living in their big cities, and then every chance they get,
Mm.
where are they going?
Oh.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's a fascinating conversation. I felt I had a unique experience. So my wife and I bought our house when we were pretty young. When we bought it, we had moved 18 times, not together, but since I left my parents' house till I purchased my home, I had moved 18 times in my life. So you're thinking, listen, out of your parents' house into the dorm room, into that dorm room, into another dorm room, into that dorm room, into a house with friends. At the end of that semester, another house with friends. Like the list is amazing.
Mhm.
How many times you do these little moves. I don't know how I'm wired like this, but peace is the word that I seek. So when we bought a house, I'm like, we're not moving.
Mhm.
We're not doing this.
Did you stay true to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
20 years.
Good.
Yeah. And it won't change because it's the chaos. I couldn't imagine moving now.
Yeah.
Trying to lift up a whole farm and a family and no. It would be wasted energy.
And I think that all of our life choices, and they're all full circle with our conversation because part of that piece, that's what I'm seeking to do.
Mm-hmm.
But part of that piece also required me to not only, like you're saying, like want to live one spot and all those things,
Yeah.
but you also need to shrink your circle. Yeah. Like I didn't have peace and I didn't realize until I took a really hard look at who I was with in those things. So I think we seek peace in every single facet
Sure.
when we get older. I did an experiment. I read it online. It said, he was talking about this very thing. And it said, do yourself a favor. Don't call. Don't call certain people. Don't call your friends for about 3 weeks. Okay. So I didn't. And 3 weeks went by and I didn't hear from them. And then 6 months. And then quite literally a couple of years. And I was like, holy cow. I don't matter to you. You know? And there was such peace in that, to realize I'm not relevant and I need to be where I count and where I matter. Where
present with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So seeking peace also means making some pretty hard choices.
Mm-hmm. Well, or hard boundaries or, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've done something similar. And my friend group has shifted.
Mm-hmm.
But
I shouldn't say shrunk, but yeah, I agree. Shifted. That's a better word.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because you'll find out you are not, people aren't interested sometimes. But good friends, man, my good friends will just randomly hand me a gift or something. I'm like, dude, you really stop to think about that?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's a nice feeling.
Well, yeah, and in doing that, you align your. I think it just again, it all unfolds naturally. Like you wind up aligned, your values, like everything lines up. Yeah, I keep going back to this. I didn't realize this, but I had another conversation with a student, and so upset about what's coming down the pike for them. Graduate. And as I was talking, because I'm always worried, I want to say the right thing. I want to make sure that I'm doing the best I can for them. But as I was talking to them, I was actually having a realization myself.
I need to take my own advice.
Yes. And the advice was, if you really think about this, nothing is that terribly complicated. In the quiet hours of the night when you're in bed, if you can strip away all the crap, like, well, what am I supposed to be doing? Well, I don't have the money for that. If you strip away all of that, our decisions are pretty simple. They're not that complicated, and we all, in our heart of hearts, we probably know what we want to do, what we should do. Mm-hmm. But the only thing stopping us is if we let some of that crap back in. Sure. And that's what I told, we were talking about people, and I said, if they're not lifting you up and supporting you and loving you, then strip them away too. Mm-hmm. And it's black and white.
Sure.
We gray this stuff, but it's actually black and white.
Yeah, that's good advice. It's tough though when it's close, like if it's a parent or something, and you don't hear from them for 6 months. That can be
tricky,
very tricky, because it makes you start questioning who you are and what you did wrong, and it takes a lot of maturity to.
Yeah, but it might kickstart you into finding who you really are.
Sure, or the peace you're searching for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so if you're going to leave a little bit of wisdom for your students, uh, your sons as they grow up? What do you leave them with? What's the, I don't want to say the meaning of life, but hey,
I do know. Yeah. Wow. Again, this was one of those moments I want to make sure that. So I will say that in doing this, in writing this book, I don't know if it's right or wrong. I guess it doesn't matter, but I did want my sons to see me working really hard and not giving up and working from 4 to 6 and not letting it impact. I wanted them to see their dad achieve this, because then there's no space for quitting. There's no space for I can't do this.
not pursuing your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no room. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's wisdom, but
Well, you're being a real role model.
trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the wisdom that I would leave, I'm going to go back to what I said a second ago. Don't allow life or societal expectations or purposeful misunderstandings. Don't allow that to cloud what is actually quite simple.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think in your heart of hearts, or in our heart of hearts, we kind of know the decision that we make and we know what's right and wrong.
Yeah, that's written on our hearts for sure.
So
People are sensitive to that.
we'll simplify it.
Mm-hmm.
Would be my, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let anything cloud that or fog it or complicate it. Live simply.
I would add to that, don't let your shortcomings or mistakes define you.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people,
Oh,
yeah, they mess up and then they're like, that's who I am. And they never get over that. They struggle. That identity bounces around in their head on all the decisions they make. Oh, I failed at that. I didn't get this.
yeah, I see.
Mm-hmm. You see it for sure. Do kids come into the classroom with that psychology that young?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Without hesitation. Yeah.
Yeah. That goes back to the beginning of this conversation when I said how impressionable people are. And
they do. And and then it's difficult because then you have to unlearn something that you've allowed to sink in and take over.
mm-hmm.
I just made the analogy not too long ago, which I don't know if that was completely appropriate now that I think about it, but I said it's like smoking cigarettes. That's supposed to be one of the most addicting things you can do. And your identity becomes that you're just a smoker. So every time one of these self-doubt thoughts comes in, you've learned to doubt yourself, and that's your immediate knee-jerk reaction.
Mm.
Oh, don't call on me. Oh, I'll get it wrong. So you have to do these baby steps. So when you go to reach for that cigarette, you have to know I'm Chad, the non-smoker.
Right.
I'm Chad, the confident person that was put here for a reason, who doesn't immediately self-doubt, who says, wow, I'm going to kick some ass, instead of self-doubting. And you have to unlearn the habit, though. Break it. That's hard.
Well, seeing somebody develop that confidence has to be one of the best feelings as a teacher.
Yes. I think that's what keeps me in the profession.
Mm-hmm. Seeing the potential in kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is just icing on the cake. I can have a bad month, but one email from a former student that just said, hey, I'm doing great. And thanks.
The whole month, you just smile.
It doesn't matter anymore. All the trials don't matter. Yeah, one email can make all the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good feeling. Well, we definitely touched on a lot of topics.
We sure did.
That's the point of this conversation. Yeah.
Well, I thank you, because I like talking about these enriching things because I think people don't. Well, you said we're not comfortable talking about, especially. I don't think men are uncomfortable talking.
Sure.
In particular. So, yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Well, it's going. More and more people want to have these conversations. So, I mean, this is part of podcast, and this is called long form. So it's where you actually dive into a concept and discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not pop culture. It's not entertainment in the sense, oh, I'm entertained. No, it's about thinking. It's about real world. And I've got something written in my journal that says we orient ourselves in this world by conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank you for sitting down and having it because it's not easy. Right? I mean, people don't know this, but I do not give you questions.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
What's the word? Extemporaneous speaking? Yes. I mean, this is just my questions, your answers, and then we flow.
And you throw out 6-syllable words like extemporaneous, whatever.
You're the literary teacher.
I know. Congratulations.
How many people have you failed?
Speaking of giving gifts, I have one for you.
Oh,
I do.
Do you really? I got one for you too.
Do you really?
Yep.
All right, I'll race you.
Just make sure your headphones don't jerk your head because I don't know how long that cord is. I'm going to reach for mine too. If it's the book Mice or Men, we're going to have it.
Gosh, I wish I would have done that.
That would not have been funny.
I'd like you to open that if you don't mind. Do we have time?
We got all the time in the world.
Oh.
Can I give you mine too?
Sure.
Okay. Can you put your right hand out, flat, face up? Oh, wow. So what I just gave you is a ministry one of my patients does. That's olive wood from Israel.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll put this book down. We'll move this.
Wow, that is absolutely...
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Thank you. I will cherish it.
You're very welcome. So you want me to unwrap this in real time on video so everyone can see?
Is that okay?
That's perfect.
Okay.
You know, this is the first gift I've gotten.
Really?
Been doing this almost a year and a half.
Well, you were gifted with my charm for an hour, but this will be your second gift.
I'm going to hit the delete button. Uh-oh. We're getting there. This says a working compass. All right. Oh.
Well, we talk about purpose and finding our way. So that was a good gift. Yeah.
Okay.
But I want you to read the quote that's on there too.
Let's see.
A little alarming that you pulled out the knife that quick.
I'm always armed. You know what? That's the farm boy in me.
Were you worried this conversation might go the wrong way?
Got to protect myself. No, you know why I got that? Because every time you go out to do something on the farm, you find yourself you need a knife.
Sure. I have one in my truck. Ooh,
it's got its own little leather case. This is cool.
Good.
Opening up the buckle. Got to use the knife again. This is dangerous. You didn't tell me I was going to be doing all this.
We're living on the edge, right?
This is awesome. All right. Let's hit a button. Which one? Oh. This is Henry Thoreau, isn't it? Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined. All right. Let's see. See if I can figure this out.
I will tell you that I did not mess with it beforehand, so I don't know
No, we
how
can
it
see
works,
it. We can see that it's completely.
Yeah. The main point is I wanted you to have the quote. I think I'm going to talk about purpose maker. We need
There it
to go.
is.
Wow. I like it.
That's beautiful.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, that's pretty smooth. So that right there releases the needle. So if I put it here, the needle's pointing.
Yeah.
Exactly north. True north.
See, the more I'm looking at that, I like give it back. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That was a wonderful podcast. I appreciate your time.
Ditto.
Thank you for everybody that's tuning in. We're going to sign off here, but I hope you had a great time with us. And I hope you go buy this book, The Fall of Bellwether, Amazon. I'll put a link on it on the next one when this podcast comes out.
Great.
And we'll look forward to probably having you on again when your next book comes.
I'll be here. Thanks.
I love it. Thank you for your time.